Okay, so this is the project. Um, there's a README with documentation and so on. Also generated documentation, which is available here. And as we were saying earlier, it comes with 2 sample extensions. The char count zig one is pretty much the simplest extension that you could do. It's really like the hello world of Postgres extensions. The other one is a little bit more complex. It's like a PG audit equivalent in Zig. We chose it because we knew PG audit needs to hook into a lot of functionality in the executor and so on. So we wanted to have those hooks and see them running and deal with more complex functionality. But for this demo, I will just show the simple one, the hello world one. And it's inspired from a C extension tutorial. Is this one? Let me show you what it does. Basically, it counts characters. Let me go here. And for pgzx comes with a development environment based on Nix. This can download the Postgres source code and install it in a particular path, and then build extensions, install the extension in that path, and so on. So it makes the development environment for it. Now, this is done with these functions, pginit and pguse and so on. But I have all that already done, so I don't need to do it. So I'm just going to go into the example folder and that char count zig extension. And to build it, I have to run something like this. And this is compiling the extension, but also installing it in that Postgres instance. So it's actually all ready to go. I just need to connect to it using psql. And I just need to provide the username there because the host is all local and such, so everything works. And now I can try it. So I can do select char count zig is the function that it adds. And as I was saying, what it does, it counts how many times this character shows up in this string. In this case, hi has 2 eyes, so the response is I. And you see also this debugging log that we're sending from the extension. I'll show you where that happens. And for example, if if I add more highs here, now we just have more eyes in it. And let me show you the code and compare it maybe a little bit with the C version of it. This here would be the C version, and you will actually see the Zig version is actually a little bit simpler and easier to understand. But you see, this is what you need to declare a new module, a new Postgres extension. You just need to use this function, and then with this pg function v1, you register this SQL function. Char count zig is implemented with this one, and this is the whole implementation. Out of which 3 lines, it's actually that debugging, the info messages that I was telling you, and the actual counting of characters is quite simple, and it's pretty normal Zig code, nothing really special about it. The reason is actually a little bit simpler than the C version is because in the C version you have to interpret the parameters in a particular way. This is what's going on in this part here, and then you see you have to copy them and so on. pgzx does that for you, so you are actually receiving them as normal Zig function parameters here, which is quite convenient. It also comes with unit tests, so you can create these test suites and put test function in them where you can test stuff. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about that, how that works later. Now, one thing I want to show you in this, maybe some of you have noticed it already. So the function does protect for when the second parameter has more than one character. So if I do here I, it will complain that the target character has more than one byte. However, it does not protect against an empty string here. And that's a bug, and you see here it then tries to access a character. So if this was C code, you would expect here a segmentation fault, and if you have ever dealt with segmentation faults in software, it's not exactly pleasant. And more important than that, it's a security risk. Any segmentation fault and any out of bounds access and so on can be a security risk. However, let's try that here in Zig. So I'll do it like this: empty character. And now if I do that, the process crashed. But if I check the logs, I am getting an actual nice stack trace, which points me exactly where the error is. So there's an index out of bounds exactly at this line. So it's really nice to get. This is like the memory safety features of Zig, which you get, of course, in the Zig code. So if you call things from the Postgres core and there's a segmentation fault in the Postgres code, that's not covered. You get the memory safety only for the Z code, but that's still like it's a really good thing to have and a way to create safer code, basically, and one of the more important reasons for which we decided to use Zig and not just write C code in our project. Right, that's it. And then let me also show you how to run the unit test. I think I can probably just do it here. So you do Zig build unit, and I think we still need this. And this one, what it does is it runs these functions. The reason I was mentioning they are interesting is that we do want to run these unit tests kind of in the Postgres instance because they might be calling Postgres code. So in order to have, like be able to write better tests, we want to have them in the Postgres servers. So the way pgzx solves that is that it registers this test suites as a SQL function, exactly like how we do this, and then it calls that function via SQL with just select the test functions. And this is what's happening here when you call Zig build unit. So that's how we do unit tests. And there's also support for Postgres regression tests. If you have wrote a Postgres extension, it comes with what they call regression tests. And that's basically SQL commands and then the expected output here. And you can do that by calling Zig build pgregress. And there you go. Yeah, that's a walkthrough through the development experience we're using pgzx.